Hey guys, it's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for tuning into this video. You are watching a re-edited and re-uploaded version of a previous video. Recently, I've just had to delete a bunch of old videos that included table footage just to comply with Massachusetts Gaming Commission's rules and regulations, also with MGM Springfield as well. So every Saturday for the next couple of weeks, I'll be re-uploading some sort of old content for you guys. So I'll still be sticking with my normal schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be some sort of normal poker content and video. Every Saturday will be an archived old one just to re-upload it, and I didn't want the video to go to waste. So hopefully you enjoy this one. Just as a heads up, you may or may not have seen this before, and also the video quality will be pretty terrible as I had to completely wipe out the whole video, so you only see the graphics of what the hand was. But hopefully you enjoy. I just didn't want the video to go to waste, and thanks for watching.
What's up, y'all? It's Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and I just really like vlogging and doing these intros in the car for absolutely no reason, but day 2 in Amherst / MGM, and we're going out today. It's 2 o'clock right now. Gonna try out the day crowd again, daytime crowd. Just edited one of the videos in Starbucks. Could have gotten some film of that. I don't know. I could have been artsy and been like, "Hey guys, I'm at Starbucks." Add some music to it and transitions, like something what Andrew Nemi would do. But yeah, just rather tell you guys about it. But we're gonna head there. Hopefully, it'll go better than yesterday. Hopefully, we don't run into set over set, because that is never ideal. Unless you're on the right side of it, then you get paid a good amount. But so let's see how things go, run things up, and let's see what the day crowd comes. First thing we have kings in the hijack with 500 in my stack. First thing that we're going to play at the table. There's 2 limpers to me. I standardly make the raise to $15, and both limpers call. So let's go 3 ways to probably, I think, one of the better flops you can ask for. Let's be honest here. It's king 9-9. So flopping the joints, flopping the boat, flopping the second nuts, basically the nuts, and action checks to me. Nothing I can do. There's no way I'm betting this flop here. I check as well. So action checks around to the turn, still 3 ways to a turn of a 10. Decent card, I guess. I don't know. It could give some 10s. Feeling good about it. I don't know. But checks to the middle position player who bets $15. He covers me by a decent amount, and I bought him for the max. So I'm trying to get stacks in. Flatting this is just not great. If he has something like 10-9 or something like that, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not trying to play a small pot, you know. So I raise it up to $45. The other early position player folds, and he ends up re-raising me to $100. And I'm just kind of confused as to what the hell could happen. Obviously, I'm sitting with the goods, and I'm trying to get it all in. So thinking of raising here in this spot is just looking a little too strong, I think. It's very interesting because he's going to repop me, and if I repop him, then it just looks like I have the nuts. So I'm going to flat this, unfortunately. I wish he raised it a little bit bigger, like a normal sizing, like 130, 135, but I'll flat call the 100, and we'll see a river that will probably be irrelevant when we're trying to get stacks in. So I flat. River, heads up, is the 8 of hearts. Doesn't change anything at all. He leads out for 125. I have a little bit under 400 in my stack, and I'm really just trying to get max value. I'm really trying to get paid. So I think about raising, obviously, what kind of sizing I should go for. Min raising guarantees me getting paid, the 125, but I think if he's going to call a raise, he will call an all-in then. So I jam, really not a whole lot to do. He sighs, he knows he's beat, he thinks I have a boat, but calls anyways. Thank goodness. We scoop it up. I show, and he has Queen Jack for the guttered straight. So happy to get paid and double up big time in our very first hand that we play in. Next hand, we have Ace 8 of clubs, under the gun +1 with 1,000 in our stack. We open it up to $15, and only the cutoff and button calls. So let's go 3 ways to a flop, out of position. It's 8, 9, 4, 2 clubs and a spade out there. So middle pair, top kicker, and the nut flush draw. So pretty good flop for me. I size up to $25 as a C bet, and only the button calls. Turn is the ace of spades. So at the backdoor flush draw, we have 2 pair now. We just have the world, really. And I decided to just bet really small, $40. I think this is a mistake. I got to size bigger here. It's such a connected board. There's so many draws in place. Obviously, I block one of them, and I have 2 pairs, so I gotta just put stacks in, I feel like, at least size bigger. But he calls, so he calls the $40, and he has about like 200 left in his stack. So let's see a river and evaluate. River's a 10, complete brick. Not really, but it does make the board super connected, but it's not a club or a spade, so we'll take that. I'm first to act. I think about a sizing that he can call with worse, maybe a worse 2 pair, maybe 8-9, something like that. So he only has about 200 left in the stack. I bet pretty small once again for value, $75. He quickly makes the call. I show and we scoop. Didn't know what he had, but I think my sizing could be a whole lot better, but we'll take it down. Shortly after that hand, we have ace-6 of clubs in the big blind with about 1,000 in our stack, and there's a button straddle. So I'm second to act, pre-flopped. I open up to $20. An early position player and the button who straddled and was the guy that I stacked with pocket kings in the first hand, he calls as well. So let's go 3 ways to a flop, and this time you actually can't get better than this flop here. It's queen 4-5, all clubs, flop the nuts. What the hell is going on? I'm running so hot here. I can't believe it. I am first to act, out of position. I'm going to lead out for $35. Nutted hands don't play like this, and I get value from queens and the king of clubs only. And there's really no point to slow play the nuts here, especially out of position. The player to my left folds, or early position player folds, and only the button calls. So trying to get him in there, trying to get him tilted, and see how it goes while I'm sitting with the nuts. The turn to 6 doesn't change anything. I guess it could add a straight to the board. I am going to look super bluffy, super fishy when I lead out for 150. Pretty big bet here, and I'm trying to make him think that I'm bluffing here and just trying to outplay him. He calls with only about 250 behind, so on any river, I'm just trying to get the whole thing in there, obviously, and take it down. And the river is the 10, another non-club card out there. And this is when things get weird. I'm sitting with the nuts, and I'm not really sure what can call me worse on 3 streets for value here. I think bricked out clubs will never call, and I only get value from worse clubs like a Jack 10 or something like that, you know? And the odds of that being the case is very slim. So I decided to jam 250, lead out and jam his whole stack in there. He quickly folds, or I lied. He thinks for a long time and then folds. I don't know. I think the smarter play, not being results oriented wise, but just like immediately thinking that was a huge mistake of jamming there. I really just have to check this, and like I said, I was trying to look bluffy. I guess, you know, if I check there, it looks like I just have an ace high card, or ace high with the clubs. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. And let him have the opportunity to bluff at it. That's probably the play that would have made me the most money and probably gotten his stack again. But that's not what I do. I jam and lead out, and he folds. So I probably play that differently the second time around, but good to know that I made a mistake, in my opinion, there on the river. And shortly after that hand, I have king 10 of spades with about 1,200 in my stack in middle position. There's 2 limpers to me. There is a button straddle or something like that, obviously, because I raised to $30 now that I read the notes. There's a button straddle, 2 limps to me, and I raised to 30. And 2 players call in position of me, not the straddler and not the limpers. So 2 cold calls, $30. Let's see what the flop is 3 ways. It's 10-7-5, 2 hearts out there. Top pair, really good kicker on a flush draw board. I'm going to size up pretty big. I'm first to act, out of position 2 as well, unfortunately. I bet $75 into 95 and 100-ish. Player in middle position next to act, he jams for a total of 109. The cutoff then thinks for a while and then calls the 109. So we're going to play a big pot. There's nothing I can do. I can't re-raise it, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to flat the 109 as well. Just 29, 34 more, whatever it is. Yeah, 34 more. And let's go to a turn, 3 ways, 1 all in. And the player the cutoff player that I'm going to be heads up against for the side pot has a pretty decent stack as well, about 750. Turn is the Queen of Diamonds. It's not a great card for me, but when he flatted that 109 on the flop there, instead of trying to ISO, it seemed like he was on the draw. So that's really what I'm putting him on. It doesn't really make sense. Maybe he has a weak 10, but what the hell? Why would he do that with a weak 10, you know? So there's really not a whole lot of queens in the range beside like ace, queen of hearts, maybe queen 10. That's the only thing that's really unfortunate if I'm running against queen 10, who will flat call the raise there. But once again, I still think he could ISO and play that aggressively. So really putting him on a draw. Queen shouldn't change a lot. It's an over, but it's really unfortunate if he has a queen of hearts. So I decided to lead out on first act. I bet 250, putting him on a draw, and he thinks for a long time, and he tanks for like 1, 2, 3 minutes. It ends up only flatting that, leaving him about 500 behind, and I cover him obviously. So we're playing 500 effective now. We're playing a really big pot. It's about 900 in the middle. The river is another 10. So really amazing card for me. I'm super nutted in this spot, and like I said in the last hand, I don't think I can bet this river because I'm nutted, and I don't think I can get 3 streets of value unless I'm up against specifically ace queen, and that is probably the only hand I could get slim value from. So I decided to check. He quickly checks. I'm trying to give him that opportunity to bluff, but didn't take a stab at it, and I show my hand, king 10, and I scoop the side and the main pot. He showed he showed queen 8 of hearts. Jesus Christ. And yeah, I was pretty right. It was really unfortunate that he hit that queen there, but I got the suck out, got to take down a really big pot again, and we are running things up here.
Yeah. You got it. Thank you very much. Cheers.
You can bet him ace queen. You can bet him ace queen.
Next hand, I have pocket 10s in the big blind. The stack size is irrelevant because I cover everyone. So the under the gun player raises the $16. The middle position player ends up calling for 16 total because he's all in. That's all he had in the stack was $16. So he calls. Small blind calls as well, and I was originally thinking of just flatting this, but when I see that the small blind's all in, I think it changes some dynamics of the time because we're going to see a flop regardless. So I tried to ISO this pot here. I raised it up to 105 on the bigger side. There's about $45, $48 dead in the middle, and I'm going to raise it up big. Player to my left calls. He was the undergun player who raised to 16 pre, so I'm putting him on a really strong hand. I think I'm dominated. I think he has like queens or at the worst ace king here, and everyone else folds, and the small blind folds. So we'll go 3 to a flop, 1 all in, and we're gonna build a side pot on a good flop here, I think, or just play as cautiously actually because I think he has queens, so ignore what I said there. Flop comes ace 9 4 rainbow. Not a great board. I mean, obviously I can rep a lot of the aces, but I think given his action raising pretty big under the gun and calling my 3-bet, my huge 3-bet, I don't think I'm good here a lot. So I check, and I'm going to probably fold on any bet, but he checks it back. Turn to 7. Action goes check, check once again. So now I think it's really weird. Now I really think he has queens. I think he has jacks. Kings would 4-bet me. So the river is a jack. Another overcard to my pair. I don't think I'm beating anything. I check. He jams for $80 total. I also should have mentioned he's a pretty short stack, which is why I didn't really feel like betting. And I fold. He shows over king jack offsuit and scoops it down. So I was really confused as to what the hell he was doing with king jack offsuit, raising big and calling my 3-bet. But he got there with one of his overs, and he takes it down. So I guess I just had the wrong read. I guess I gave him a whole lot of credit that he didn't deserve. But it is what it is. Just wanted to throw that in there. This hand was pretty fun. It was pretty interesting. I'm in the small blind with pocket 5s with a button straddle. And I have 1,500 in front. Like I said, my stack size really doesn't matter. So I decided to just open limp. I hate open limping, but with middle pairs and first to act and a fucking straddled pot, I just don't want to raise with pocket 5s. It folds all the way back to the button, actually, who just says he's going to play nice and check. Flop comes ace 10 5 2 clubs. So really could have raised pretty and maybe played a bigger pot, but I decided to check with my bottom set. He bets $10. I decided to play this a little bit on the trickier side. We've been pretty friendly with each other, but he respects my game, I respect his, and I just call here. Turn is a queen. I check. He bets $15, and that's when some of the table talk starts to begin. I raise to $60, trying to look like I'm buying the pot, and he calls. And I say to him, I'm really confused as to what he has, and honestly, I'm thinking that, like, what could you possibly have to call my raise of $60 there? You know, are you really that strong? The river's a 3. There's more table talk going on. He says that the only thing that beats him is King Jack, and so I take that as a sign of weakness. Mostly table talk is a sign of weakness. I want him to bluff at it, so I decided to just check. I think I missed out on some value here, just checking instead of betting a little bit. And he quickly checks it back with ace 4, and I scoop.
Aces. Set of 5s.
This last hand is a doozy, interesting one that we will definitely get into. I have ace queen offsuit in the small blind. I'm on a brand new table as well, and I'm the one +1 who is a pretty big stack because he just stacked a guy who he's horrible. That's all you need to know. My notes say that he's a horrible player, and it is what it is. He limps. A regular to his direct left raises to $12. I've played with him a ton. He's a good player, and there's 3 calls to me, and I'm going to have to 3-bet this spot out of position with ace queen off. I like taking an aggressive route, especially out of position in a multi-way board, and just hopefully take down all the dead money in the middle as well. So I 3-bet to 75 on the bigger side for sure, but I like that sizing. The blimper, who is really bad, doesn't cold call, but he calls after limping. So he limp calls the 3-bet. The pre-flop raiser tanks for a long time, tries to get a read off me, and ends up folding. And what he folds is fairly significant, and I'll go through that at the end of the hand. And only a late position player calls, who called the $12. So he calls my 3-bet. So we're going to go 3 ways to a flop with 3 people, with the other 2 people who I have no idea what their ranges could be. You know, one who limp called a 3-bet, one who called a pre-flop raise and then called the 3-bet, whatever. We're going to go 3 ways to this flop of Jack 9-7, all spades. I have the Queen of Spades. I didn't know that yet because I forgot. So I decided to check when I'm first to act. I almost never do this. The bad limper bets 125. He has about like 600 behind him or something like that, and I cover him. So 600, 500, whatever it was, whatever the number was. But he bets 125. The 8 position player folds, and action onto me. I think I can peel one, which is a mistake. I think I absolutely should 3-bet this all the time if I'm trying to take it down. And just have the check raising plan in my head, but I decided to just flat the 125, see another card, and plan on bluffing later streets. Turn is a deuce. I check, and I actually now have a plan to check raise in this spot, but he grabs for chips and then checks it back. So that's unfortunate that a spade didn't come and he didn't bet, which was part of my plan, but river is another deuce. So runner to deuce, and my spade draw bricks out, and there's no way that I'm good here, and I'm trying to fold out the bottom of his range. So I decide to fire really small, $200, and look like I just have him beat. You know, like his range is almost infinite. It's so weird. I don't really know what to put him on because he'll play anything, he'll call anything, and it's weird. But I know for a fact that when we play big pots against normal recs, they view the $200 as just $200 of real money, as opposed to $200 in a big pot, like with a ratio of like a $400 or $500 pot. So he lays it down. He thinks that I got him beat. He shows pocket 3 face up, and obviously if he's gonna show that, I'll show my hand as well. So we take it down there. I really don't like my bluff in my play. I think if I'm going to take that line, I have to check raise that on the flop. But against that specific player, as played, as given my mistakes on the flop, I'll take it down. But what the pre-flop raiser had, he folded ace king with the ace of spades. So that would have been very interesting if we went multi-way, even more multi-way, 4 ways to a flop of that. I think a lot of dynamics shift and change, but when I know I can just barrel very small in compared to the size of the pot and take it down there, that's how I'll play it against that particular opponent. But this is just for the vlog. Just a good time to wrap up a good session. Some Texas Roadhouse. Fuck. I ended up not being able to upload or record an outro for last night's session, so it's the day after. Just results, going over what happened. I played for about 5 hours, 5.5 hours, something like that. I was in the game for 500, out of the game for 1290, so pretty good profit of 12, or not out of the game for 18 or 1790 actually. Sorry, so profit of 1290. Pretty monster session there. Pretty good for this weekend trip. To give you guys a background, my goal for these 3 days of playing at MGM Springfield was to make like $1,000 in total, and we're there. So next video that I'll be playing at MGM Springfield will basically be a free roll, aka today. So like I said, upload schedule and vlogging schedule totally different. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Wrap things up with eating Texas Roadhouse. Had to celebrate the good win there. Good session, a good day overall, being productive. And yeah, also go-to place. So if you guys, you know, I just rep Texas Roadhouse. That's all. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked this video, especially if you made it this far. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.